Okay, welcome. My name is Brett, and I'm going to be talking about the three virtues of Perl. This is a picture of Aristotle in the School of Athens, a fresco by Raphael in 1509. As we know, he's probably the most famous figure associated with virtue, or virtues. So some references. There's a classic Larry Wall quoted from Programming Perl, second edition, O'Reilly and Associates, 1996. There used to be a website called threevirtues.com. It's now a Bath and Body Works or some sort of personal care site, but it is on archive.org. ChatGPT helped me out tremendously, and so did Aristotle. Not the one on Perl Monks, although he is a smart guy based on his postings. We're going to jump right into it. I've got like 30 slides and 20 minutes. So a lot of this may be reading. But so we have a Perl programmer's laziness. Okay, that's our first virtue, according to Larry Wall. And what does that mean according to Larry Wall? The quality that makes you go to great effort to reduce overall energy expenditure. It makes you write labor-saving programs that other people will find useful and document what you wrote, so you don't have to answer so many questions about it. However, actual laziness is a vice. It's a bad thing. Okay, the word itself, not what Larry says it means. It refers to the quality or state of being unwilling to expend effort or energy in undertaking tasks or activities. It is often associated with a lack of motivation or diligence in completing work, chores, or responsibilities. From ChatGPT. Impatience. For Perl programmers, it's a good thing. The anger you feel when the computer is being lazy, this makes you write programs that don't just react to your needs, but actually anticipate them, or at least pretend to. Actual impatience is a vice. It refers to a state of being restless, easily irritated, or unwilling to wait for something. It is characterized by a lack of tolerance for delays, obstacles, or slow progress. It's important to manage impatience constructively to maintain productivity, relationships, and overall well-being. And of course, we have hubris, the quality that makes you write and maintain programs that other people won't want to say bad things about. Hubris is a very bad vice. I'm not going to read all of that, but I'll skip to the bottom. And it says, it is often associated with hubristic behavior in leadership, politics, and personal relationships where unchecked pride or arrogance can lead to significant personal or societal repercussions. We can all agree that that's not a good thing. So Perl, the programming language, is very famous for doing what we mean. That's one of the reasons we love it. We can be very expressive with it, and it'll get the task accomplished with minimal effort of trying to cajole it into doing what we want it to do. As Perl programmers, we say what we mean, often to a fault. And why is that? Most of us in this room do not have source filters. Oddly, when it comes to virtue, we don't say what we mean. We see the words laziness, impatience, hubris, but those words, maybe they're everywhere and they describe these three virtues. They don't come with these explanations or what we actually mean when we say these things. So how are we going to improve this situation? Well, I jumped onto the latest trend and decided to test my skills at prompt engineering with ChatGPT. So we're going to say what we mean. I asked ChatGPT to help me find the actual words for the descriptions that Larry says that the original virtues describe. I'm not a dictionary thesaurus or Aristotelian philosopher. I'm barely a Perl programmer. I am lazy, I am impatient, and I'm very prideful, unfortunately. So let us begin. So when it comes to laziness, the actual phrase or word that describes what Larry intended to describe is phronesis, and it means practical wisdom. So laziness is not phronesis. What we want to say is phronesis. It refers to practical wisdom or prudence. It involves the ability to make practical decisions and take appropriate actions based on understanding, experience, and ethical considerations. Again, ChatGPT. Aristotle considered phronesis as one of the key virtues necessary for achieving eudaimonia, or human flourishing, which is what we want also, especially within the community. It involves the ability to apply moral principles in practical situations, making decisions that contribute to individual and communal well-being. I'm going to leave this up for a minute because I'm not going to read through it all, but I would like people who are watching the video to be able to pause and read it. But I will give you an example. This is as it applies to Perl programming itself and what we do. Phronesis would guide a programmer to prioritize efficiency, seeking ways to minimize unnecessary effort and energy expenditure. This aligns with the motivation to write labor-saving programs. So, we're not lazy. Laziness is not a virtue. Phronesis is the virtue. Thumos. This is impatience, or what we should be saying instead of impatience. It means spiritedness. A lot of us are very spirited, especially when it comes to Perl. It refers to a spirited or passionate aspect of human nature, encompassing emotions like anger, righteous indignation, and the desire to achieve justice or excellence. These are good things. This is the virtuous description of what we're going for here. Aristotle recognized thumos as a complex emotion that, when guided by reason or logos, could lead to virtuous actions and contribute positively to individual and social well-being. So as you can see, we're not changing the intent of what Larry was going for with these. We're using the right words, and using these right words will have, I believe, a real effect on anybody who considers them. And thumos captures the anger and frustration felt when encountering inefficiencies or laziness, such as when a computer or program fails to meet expectations. Thumos encourages taking initiative and anticipating future needs or changes, driven by a sense of urgency or moral indignation towards inefficiency. And thumos drives individuals to take proactive measures, such as writing programs that anticipate needs or simulate responsiveness, even if it's a facade. And eunomia is what we should be saying instead of hubris. It means good order. It refers to maintaining good order or governance, both in a societal context and in personal conduct. Applied to programming, it signifies creating well-structured, organized, and maintainable code. Aristotle viewed eunomia as essential for harmonious living and governance in society, promoting virtues like justice, fairness, and efficiency in the organization and administration of communal affairs. Eunomia motivates programmers to write code that is clear, efficient, and adheres to best practices, ensuring it is easy to understand and maintain by others. Eunomia encourages ongoing maintenance of programs, including updating, optimizing, documenting code to facilitate comprehension and usage by other developers. Eunomia embodies ethical considerations in programming, such as transparency, accountability, and respect for community of users and developers. So what about Tim Toady? Well, ChatGPT tells me that the Aristotelian virtue most associated with Perl's Tim Toady, or there is more than one way to do it, philosophy, is eudaimonia, which translates to flourishing or human flourishing. So what this means is that this is actually one of the ands to one of the other virtues, or all the virtues actually that we're talking about. So the things that Larry spoke of in terms of laziness, impatience, and hubris were actually good and well-intended, and we're going to this eudaimonia because he wanted the Perl community to flourish. He wanted the people who were benefiting from Perl to flourish. And I believe overall society. What about do what I mean? The Aristotelian virtue most associated with Perl's do what I mean philosophy is phronesis, which translates to practical wisdom or prudence. Well, that's exactly the same thing that was the virtuous word that we should use instead of laziness, which I thought was interesting. This was a journey of discovery, and it was a lot of fun. But I thought that was pretty significant, that I went all the way back to laziness or to phronesis. So what I discovered potentially is that Perl actually has a secret fourth virtue, and that I'm not going to say this correctly, but arete, which means excellence. And I think we can all agree that that is the whole point of what Larry was trying to convey. I think everybody in this room is here because they want to be excellent people. They want to be excellent Perl programmers. They want to be excellent employees or contribute to society, even if it's just an open source community, in excellent ways. Okay, we want to be as good as possible. So now we know phronesis plus thumos plus eunomia equals eudaimonia, or more plainly, practical wisdom plus spiritedness plus good order equals human flourishing. And this is entirely consistent with Larry Wall's descriptions back in the day of the three virtues of Perl. So, be excellent to each other. Thank you.